Hi, my name is Ashley Kerr. I am the co-host of the Real Estate Rookie podcast. Today, I am bringing you Rookie Resources. Rookie Resources is going to be a new YouTube series found right here on the Real Estate Rookie YouTube. What we're going to be doing is creating these videos for you with useful, helpful information that you can actually take with you. So there's going to be downloadables, there's going to be additional resources, just like in the name. So I hope you guys enjoy this new series. Today, we're going to be talking about building your buy box. So first, let's break down what a buy box is. The buy box is the criteria that you set for yourself when determining what property, asset class, and strategy you are going to use for your real estate investing. So we're going to walk through some of the things you should consider in your buy box today. You'll also be able to download a copy of your own buy box, almost like a checklist of here's the things you should consider when building out your buy box, so you can go ahead and build your own buy box at home. What are some of the reasons why you should actually build out a buy box? The first is to save you time. There are so many properties listed on the MLS. You can get so many properties sent to you. You can see so many properties listed at auction, listed on Zillow, listed on the Facebook Marketplace. There's so many different ways to find deals, and having a buy box will really help you narrow down. So you can almost go through it like a checklist and say, you know what? I don't want any pools in my properties. This house has a pool. It is no longer in my criteria. I don't even need to look at it further. Get it off your page, okay? And it will help you filter through properties faster, so you're not wasting so much time actually trying to analyze a deal. So now we're going to dive in to the actual buy box. If you are liking this video of Rookie Resources, make sure to comment below what kind of resources do you need as a rookie investor. We're going to be airing these videos every week on Thursday, so make sure you are subscribed to the Real Estate Rookie podcast to get notified of these videos. And you can go to BiggerPockets.com/resources, and you will be able to access these downloadables like today's buy box checklist. As I mentioned, you can download the buy box checklist, but I'm also going to run through it with you as to why you should consider some of these things and what you actually need to have on your buy box. Okay, the first thing is property type. Are you looking for multifamily, self-storage, single family, large multifamily, boutique hotels? What is the property type that you're looking for? Then how many units? Do you want small multifamily? So maybe you're going to put 2 to 4 units. Do you want large multifamily that's, 40 to 80 units? Do you want 600 plus units? Do you want a campground that maybe has 40 pads on it? Write down how many units you're looking at, and this will also kind of tie into your budget. So you maybe need to do these two columns together as to this is how many units I'm kind of looking for, the range, and also your price range that you're going to be able to buy in. Maybe you have a pre-approval for a loan and you know that you're pre-approved for $300,000. Well, maybe in the market that you're looking in, you can only buy a duplex. Okay. So you're not going to put that your budget is $300,000 and then put that you're looking for 6 to 8 units. So this will also help you really define your criteria, is kind of looking into your market that you're investing in as to what you actually can get per your budget and finding out what your budget is. Go and get pre-approved, figure out where the money is coming from to purchase a property. There's definitely ways to find money after you've found the deal, but give yourself kind of an idea of what you're looking for budget-wise and what you actually can afford and what you could get funding for. For example, if you live in a market where the median house price for a duplex is $300,000, but you found one that's $600,000 and you're going to renovate it and make it $1 million property, and it may be a great deal, but as a first-time renovator going into this property, are you actually going to get somebody who's going to lend to you when there's all these other duplexes that are $300,000? So be realistic in your expectations of what your price range is, and then how many units. Next, we're going to look at the parking. If you're buying a small multifamily, how many parking spaces? If you're doing a flip, do you need to have off-street parking? So does there need to be a driveway in the area you're looking at? I recently did a BRRRR, a buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and repeat in the city of Buffalo, where we renovated the property and refinanced it and rented it out. With this property, there was no driveway. So we actually had to go in and study the market a little bit and see, is this okay that there was no driveway in the area? So look at your properties in the area that you're investing in and find out, do you need to have some kind of parking, and what is the expectation of parking? If you don't have any parking available, is that really going to significantly decrease the value of your property or what you could get into rent or the resale value? This also coincides with garages. So if you're doing a flip house, do you need to find a property that has a garage? I did a flip with James Daynard, the co-host of On the Market in Seattle, Washington. We bought a property together that had a carport. This property went under contract, fell out of contract, and just kind of sat on the market. And what we actually decided to do was to take more capital, invest it into the deal, and build a garage, and bam, our property sold like that. So really understanding your market and if you need a garage or not a garage, okay? But that can go with so many different things, as looking at comparables, what they're selling for. Are there properties that are selling for higher or renting or higher? And what are those amenities that they have that are just giving them that little bit of edge, and add those to your buy box. So the next thing, this is big with multifamily units, common areas, okay? Common areas you need to have maintained and cleaned. From my experience, I can't rely on most of the residents to keep the common areas clean. We hire cleaners to come into all of our common areas and clean, which is an additional expense. It would be way easier if there was no common area. Each person had their own space. It was designated, okay? So maybe you don't want to have any common areas where you're responsible for maintaining, or the tenants have to interact with each other, which can cause disputes and fights over anything. Okay, so think about that if you want to avoid common areas, or maybe you would rather have common areas in your property. The next thing is laundry. Are you going to look for properties that have laundry? Is this an expectation in your market or not? Do you want just washer and dryer hookup? Do you want to actually provide it? Do you want laundry facilities in the building? Think about that when you add it to your buy box. Or maybe it's just not important at all, and you can actually just say that. Not important, don't care, not adding it to my buy box. Next is location. You should have your market identified of where you want to invest. You can go to biggerpockets.com/resources and look at some of the data on markets that Dave Meyer has put together to kind of help you decide. When you're looking at different markets, you also need to make sure that your buy box makes sense based on what you're putting into your buy box. So if you're putting in your buy box that you want to invest in a specific neighborhood, okay, get really niche in your location. Don't just say the city of Buffalo. Okay, pick what neighborhood you want. What streets do you want? Okay, there's different resources like Neighborhood Scout, there's Bright Investor. Also going to BiggerPockets.com and searching in the forums. You can also ask people too, like, I'm looking in this city, what are some great neighborhoods that you are investing in? And get some kind of feedback and recommendations or referrals from other investors. Then school district. Do you care what school district? So if you're doing a flip, and you're marketing, young families, then maybe you do care about what school district you are, because, people are moving into this. Your ideal target customer to purchase your flip is going to be moving into a starter home, where maybe they have a young family or starting a family, and school district is important. Or maybe you have one really great school district in the area and the rest are just not rated that great. So you know that you're going to get more bang for your buck with your rental or your flip because you are located in the great school district that's in the area. But if you're going after senior housing, then school district most likely will not be a priority for you to add to your buy box. Then there's age of property. How old is the property? Okay. So James Daynard, investor from Seattle, On the Market podcast host, he puts into his buy box certain age ranges of homes just because the construction of those homes differed over the years. So he really likes to get specific as to the range of years that he likes to buy houses in Seattle. So look at your market. Are there houses that were built within a certain time frame? Maybe you don't want to have to deal with asbestos. So maybe you don't want to have to deal with lead paint. So you're going to be targeting newer homes, okay? Look in your area and figure out, is there anything that is a no-go that you don't want houses over a certain age? Then we're going to look at the type of property and what's inside of that property, such as the bed bath count. Do you care how many bedrooms? When I was looking at lake houses, to go from a 2-bedroom to a 3-bedroom, there was $100,000 difference. So if you could buy a property that was a 2-bed, but have room somewhere in there to add a 3rd bedroom, that would increase your value by $100,000. So right there, that was actually a great investment if you look at it, because adding an extra bedroom, especially if there's already a room for it somewhere, it's not going to cost $100,000 to add an additional bedroom onto a house, especially if you have attic space you can convert, or there's just another additional room that you can put a closet in, whatever it may be. Look at those two when building your buy box, and maybe it is better just to target 3 bedrooms and compared to 2 bedrooms, or whatever the difference may be. Then we're going to talk about rehab. Do you want light, cosmetic, medium-sized rehab, not a full gut, but you're going to be, redoing maybe a little drywall, things like that? Or is it a full gut rehab? You're changing the layout, you're redoing the electrical, all of those things. What are you comfortable with? And really stick to that. If you decide I'm only doing light cosmetic flips, then make sure that you're not over there looking at these huge fixer-ups or saying, you know what, maybe I can do it. Stick to your buy box. Then we're going to look at property class. So is this A class, B class, C class? There's no set rule as to what determines this type of class. There's no metric. There's no way to actually measure. It's based off of opinion, okay? So an A-class neighborhood, great school district, nicer houses, maybe higher end food stores like Trader Joe's or Whole Foods. Then you got your B-class neighborhoods and your B-class housing where, it's maybe more middle class, and then C class is more lower income, and D class is just lots of dilapidation, not a lot of growth and revitalization going on or anything yet. So look at what you want to invest into. When I started out, I invested in C class properties. So these were in B neighborhoods, but they were C class properties. Like they were the dilapidated properties in those neighborhoods. So you can also invest that way too. Now we were going to look at some metrics that you should be considering. So do you have a cash flow requirement? Like it's only worth it for you. Maybe you have $50,000 and you need at least $500 cash flow a month for it to make it worth it for you to invest that $50,000. Okay. You're going to be setting, what's your cash on cash return? Okay. What's the minimum standard for that? What percentage? Okay. Then we're going to look at your rehab budget. How much are you willing to spend on a rehab? Even though you can afford the purchase of the property, how much money do you have available for the rehab of the property, for your total cost needed into the property? And then funding, as we mentioned before, that's important as to building your buy box. Do you only want to do a seller financing deal? Are you using conventional? Are you using a commercial loan? Do you only want to do sub 2? So lots of ways to actually fund a deal. What are the ways that you're looking for? Then we're going to look at appreciation or growth potential. Do you care if the property appreciates a lot? Maybe you don't even care about cash flow and you're just going for appreciation. Then we're going to look down the road. And this can be helpful when getting an inspection on the property, is having the inspector lay out kind of like the lifeline of the mechanics of the property and different aspects of the house as to what are going to be your capital expenses that are going to happen throughout the next 10 years, next 20 years, whatever you would like. You're purchasing a property and everything's working right now. But maybe the inspector says, well, I think this boiler in this property is going to go within the next 3 years. That means you need to have $16,000 or whatever the cost may be for a new boiler to be put in 3 years. So is your deal going to be worth it? It makes sense today, but in 3 years, if you have to spend $16,000 more into that property, is it still going to be a good deal for you? So understanding, do you have kind of a budget set for the next 5, the next 10 years of what you will spend in capital expenditures to see if this is still a good deal for you too. So Maybe you don't want to redo a roof. Maybe you don't want to do a boiler. Or maybe you know, like, you know what, one of my advantages is I can do a roof. So if the roof is, 15, 20 years old, that's okay, because in 3 years time, I will have enough money saved up where I can go ahead and do the roof and the numbers still look great on the property and it's going to be worth it for me today. So think about all these things when you're building your buy box, and there's a million other things you could put in, but this is such a great starting point, especially for rookies, as to looking at so many different properties all the time. If you guys are like me, an addict, just scrolling and looking what's available, this will help you stay focused and to stick to what you are actually looking for. That's going to be a great investment for you. I would love for you guys to share your buy box with me once you have filled it out. So comment below if you have actually filled out the buy box after watching this and if it has helped you. I would love to hear back from you. And you can post the sample of your buy box in the BiggerPockets forums. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I'm Ashley Kerr. You can find me at Wealth from Rentals, and you can also message me on BiggerPockets.com. You can find my profile under my name, Ashley Kerr. Thank you guys so much for joining me. If you liked this video, make sure to give it a like and make sure you are subscribed so you can check out next week's video.